What's up, guys? I'm hanging out in Texas today with this guy. You know him?
Hey guys, it's me, Brian Brushwood from the Modern Rogue.
Today we're hanging out. We're working on making black powder fuses.
Why do you suppose we're making fuses? It's almost as though we're going to detonate something.
Neither of us have made this black powder fuse before, so the purpose of today's experiment is to see if we can get a safety fuse that'll work at a consistent rate, because we like our fingers and we'd like to keep them for tomorrow's experiment as well.
For a magician, they're kind of important. We got muzzle loading propellant. You can pick this up at any kind of outdoors store. You can buy it online. I had to pay an extra like $30 for extra safety handling because it's so flammable.
And the other thing to note about this is it is FFG. I specifically asked for triple FG, Brian.
Uh-oh. I typed in what you did. I thought it was the right stuff. How many Fs do you want?
We need 3 Fs.
I don't give an F.
Apparently you don't. Now, in addition to the black powder, we also went down to the Super Center and picked up some of this stuff. This is just wrapping paper.
It's for a party. We're gonna have a party.
It already is a party now that you're here. So we were thinking, let's cut the tissue paper into strips. Let's pour some black powder down the middle of it and then wrap it over itself, twist it up, and see if that'll work for a fuse.
Now, do we have to get it wet or we could do this totally dry?
I have seen some instructions online on how to do this and actually wet down the paper and then pour the powder on. I always thought that wetting down black powder wasn't necessarily a good thing. However, apparently if you let it dry overnight, it works even better. So let's just go ahead and try both methods and see which one works the best.
Works for me.
Now, the powder that we got is actually a lot coarser than we want it to be. We need this to be finer powder, and this is pretty grainy. So we're just gonna dump this into a little Pyrex container and use the butt end of a hammer, kind of like a mortar and pestle, to crush this up a bit.
It's not gonna blow up when I do this, is it?
Well, you're dealing with black powder, so you always want to be prepared for the worst.
Oh, jeez.
So if this thing does go up, we're doing it outdoors in a safe area and using a wooden handle so we don't conduct static electricity. But my guess is we're gonna be just fine. We will, however, move this to a safer location. The finer the powder is, the more surface area, which means the faster it will react, and the better it will fit into our makeshift fuse here as well. Remember, guys, black powder is the stuff they used to mine ore with. It blows up rocks, it blows up mountains, and it can blow up you.
That's encouraging.
There we go. So it's not perfect, but you can see we've now reduced our double FG down to about a triple FG equivalent, and that should be enough for our purposes.
Boy, I tell you what, this first one we made is just dynamite.
Yeah, that looks beautiful. Let's do that again. So update, guys, we have just rolled our first fuse, and I think it's looking pretty good.
Yep, I'm not entirely sure. I think we'll have a surprise ahead of us, but I think wetting it definitely helped it to get nice and snug and tight.
So it seems like using water on the tissue paper acts as a glue or a binder to keep the paper itself together. If you were just to put the powder on and try and roll it up, all the powder would spill out and you might have inconsistencies in your fuse. And also, by rolling it at the 45-degree angle, keeps everything twisted nice and tightly together. I imagine if we tried to light this thing off right now, actually that's a good experiment.
Yeah, you want to give it a try?
What would happen if we lit it off right now?
Well, only one way to find out. Why don't we break off part of it?
I think that's a great idea. Okay, so this is actually still pretty damp to the touch. I can feel it's wet.
No way!
What?
No way! Even while it's wet!
And it's actually working. Like, it's not, I thought it was gonna shoot up in an instant, but that's a pretty slow burning fuse.
That's perfect!
Dude, will it light off the powder?
Whoa!
Excellent!
High fives! That was amazing!
Dude, okay. So, that was still wet, guys, and it still worked. I think we've got a viable idea.
Oh my gosh, I think we can blow everything up right now. Let's go.
So update, I cannot believe that worked.
I can't either, and it seemed like the water actually, the dampness in no way inhibited the miniature explosions that went all the way down the chain reaction, igniting the powder.
Yeah, if anything, the fuse burned at like the perfect rate. It wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow, it was very consistent. So.
Yeah, it's the consistency that blew me away.
So cool, so we're gonna do that again. We're gonna make a whole bunch more fuses, and after seeing this work so well, I'm not gonna try one without water. I think it works really well keeping it damp. It just helps hold everything down, and we just got a really good run with one of those fuses, so now we're gonna make them again and again and again. Let's do a whole bunch.
Let's go. Arts and crafts.
So this is the stuff that we ground up, and this is the stuff that came out of the container. You can definitely see the difference between the two. That is fine, brother.
I see what you did there. There we go. Wow,
Whoa.
much faster.
But you know what? It's not uncontrollably fast. Oh. Why did that go out?
Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
Nice.
Nicely done.
I'm proud.
I love how that's all smoking behind you.
Yeah.
Just give me a glory shot.
That's awesome.
That was great. Okay, so why do you think the fuse stopped?
I think it was loosely packed and not very tight, and as a result, at some point there was just enough of a gap that it all fizzled out.
I agree. So it's very important to make sure our line is consistent.
Do you think it works like in the cartoons? Like we could just light that there and it would go all the way across?
That's a good question.
I think it would burn almost the exact same rate as it twisted up. I bet it works just like in the cartoons, just like Wile E. Coyote.
You want to give it a try?
Yeah, all right. Let's say it starts here and it ends here.
Sure.
Dude, just like in the cartoons!
Check it out. Will it jump the gap? No, it fizzles out. That is so cool.
Dude, it just tells me we just need to roll it tight, and yes, consistency matters, but as long as you have enough, that chain reaction just goes just at the perfect fuse speed.
Here's an important part of science that we've just seen in action. When black powder is confined, it will explode. But if you put it out in open air, it burns at a very consistent rate.
It's more like a fast fire than an explosion.
That's right. So if we roll that up, as long as there are no breaks, theoretically, we should have ourselves a pretty good cannon fuse.
Right on. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of success do you give us?
Well, I think we're kind of like at a 4, but I see potential here.
Please don't run any. It did. Whoa!
I think we're onto something, though. I think this is a viable idea.
We made actual black powder fuses, and they worked, mostly.
They seem to be pretty legit. These things are still damp as we hold them, and yet they still work. So I'm excited to see how they perform tomorrow. Will they be enough to set off our pyrotechnic device? You're gonna have to find out in the next video, because we're gonna be putting these things to the test with coconuts.
Just promise me I'll still have my fingers.
There's no promises with the experiments we do around here.
afraid
Everybody's
you're gonna
signing a
say
waiver.
that.
And you guys, while you're at it, click the link in the description to go check out the Modern Rogue. He does some pretty cool stuff on his channel with his buddy. What do you guys get up to?
Oh man, me and Jason Murphy are on a quest to become the ultimate warrior, gentleman, and scoundrel, making nunchucks out of magazine, blowing stuff up. We're trying to be like you, kind of.
So click the link in the description, go show him some subscription love, and we'll see you tomorrow where we put these things to the test. Thanks for joining us for this experiment. We'll be looking for you in the next one. Talk to you then. It looks dubious to me.